Hey everyone. So I think I had, 25 viewers from the GTL community send me this report from Forbes. And at first I actually didn't want to review this one or talk about it because I have done some World Cup videos recently. But it's like driving past a car crash. You just have to look. And when I saw it, along with this other story out of Toronto, I decided, why not? Let's go ahead. So in this video, we're going to talk about all the new clues that are coming out, which is leading towards the FIFA World Cup in all countries, looking like it might be underwhelming or even a bust. So we're going to talk about that in this video. And if this is the first time you're seeing my video, and you want to hear more from a Canadian and international perspective, hit that subscribe button so you'll be notified of my future videos. Alright, let's get started.
Just about 2 months from the 2026 FIFA World Cup, Toronto is finalizing plans to greet the surge of fans coming to the city. And now FIFA has released thousands of hotel rooms it had initially booked in host cities.
Now let's not forget, about a week ago, or maybe just a little bit over a week, FIFA announced that they were releasing rooms in Vancouver, and I think it was like 15,000. Now just to clarify, it's 15,000 nightly rooms, not 15,000 bookings. But even at 15,000 rooms, that's still a lot to give up. And in my previous video, the one thing that really stood out to me was that third-party booking companies are also down as well. If you didn't see that video, let me replay it for you.
Currently sold around 20% of our inventory, which is a bit concerning. We were definitely hoping that we'd have sold up to 50% or more by now.
Now, the BC Hotel Association says FIFA has cancelled about 15,000 nightly room bookings in Vancouver over the month-long tournament. And that has local operators like WeHack worried. They'll be left on the hook to cover the cost of rooms they can't sell.
So if this is happening to third-party companies in Vancouver, I'm pretty sure it's also happening in Toronto as well. And I've seen on social media over the past 3 or 4 months, people are saying, yeah, we're going to avoid the US, but we'll go to Canada or Mexico instead. Well, unfortunately, that's not really reflecting right now.
We know it is affecting a number of properties in the core of the city. And obviously, it's not ideal.
The Greater Toronto Hotel Association says it doesn't have an exact number of cancellations, but they say there's still a surge of bookings for that period.
June is traditionally a very busy month for the city, for the hotels. So, even with the cancellations, we're seeing that it's about 28% increase over last year.
Toronto's BMO Field will be hosting 6 games, including Team Canada's opening match. And the city says they're expecting hundreds of thousands of visitors.
Now, one thing to consider for Vancouver and Toronto versus the United States is that people still want to come to Canada. We're not going to search your phone or take your DNA or put you in a detainment center. So these room nights that are being released in Canada, they're going to get taken up. They might not be for FIFA fans, but it'll be for everybody else that wants to come visit Canada. So to this rental company in Vancouver, you might want to retarget your audience. On a side note, I was actually talking to some of the locals in Vancouver on the Discord server, and this person's trying to rent out some rooms at SFU, which is Simon Fraser University. Now, if you're not from Vancouver, you're not aware of the Lower Mainland area. Simon Fraser University is at the top of Burnaby Mountain. And to get to downtown, you realistically have 2 ways. One, you can take the 135 bus all the way to downtown, and that's anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour without traffic. Or you can take the other bus down to the SkyTrain, transfer on 2 trains, and then you're in downtown. Either way, it's a pretty long trek to go if you're staying on the top of Burnaby Mountain and you want to go to a game downtown. By the way, it's a lot farther than what this photo is showing. And I know this for a fact because it used to be a route that I was very familiar with in the early 2000s. Now, I've given my perspective on this, but I do want to hear a perspective from an expert, and also a friend of the GTL community.
The reality is, June's always a great month in Toronto. And it's a great month, and it drives a lot of traffic. There's a lot of events beyond just Pride.
This tourism and hospitality expert says it's still unclear how these hotel cancellations will impact prices.
You're going to know in a month, because what we're seeing is the amount of airlines travel booked over the next month to come to Canada for these events. They'll be able to project how many hotel rooms they're going to sell, and they're going to move in price. Hotel prices are going to move up and down as a result of that.
It's always great to see Wayne in the media. And for those of you new to the channel, Wayne has actually joined me on my channel a couple of times. And as a noob when it comes to travel and tourism, I've learned a lot from Wayne. Which reminds me, I'm supposed to have a live stream with him so we can do a Q&A for the community. Wayne, if you're watching this, reach out to me or I'll reach out to you. But my guess, when it comes to Canada, I can't speak for the United States or Mexico. I think the rooms that are being released are going to get taken up pretty quickly. Because there are going to be people around the world that want to visit Canada, and not necessarily for the FIFA World Cup. Let me know in the comments below if you agree with me on this or not.
I would just not ever pay the prices.
Rob Nottenboom is the president of Team Canada's fan club, the Voyageurs. He's making the trip from Regina to Toronto for Canada's opener, but he already booked an affordable Airbnb. He says even if hotel prices came down, the overall cost would still be too steep for fans.
Quite frankly, when you factor the ticket price on top of the travel costs, on top of the hotel, it was just kind of not doable.
FIFA did not respond to CBC's request for comment, but experts say these cancellations are common occurrence for large-scale events like the World Cup. Michelle Song, CBC News, Toronto.
Now, I don't argue this at all, and FIFA has the right to remove any rooms that they don't need. But what I do question is how many rooms they actually released, not just in Vancouver and Toronto, but in the United States as well as Mexico as well. And the biggest question mark is, why is it so many? But on a relating note on why these hotel rooms are not being booked, is the cost of the price to actually go. And this next report from CTV shows a diehard World Cup fan who wants to go, but he's been priced out. I've shown other TikTok videos in my previous ones that show how expensive the tickets are. But this video is going to show how expensive they are in Canada. You might need a mortgage broker if you want to go.
As a Colombian living in Kelowna, Andres Narenia has a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity potentially coming his way. If fate smiles, Colombia could play in the FIFA World Cup round of 16 match at BC Place, possibly against Narenia's adopted country of Canada.
I want to see Colombia in a World Cup, and I also dream of seeing Canada as well in the World Cup. So it would be an amazing situation if the stars align.
There's just one problem. On FIFA's official resale site, some people are asking tens of thousands of dollars for tickets to that match. One optimistic hustler wants $869,000 for a single seat behind the goal.
Now, whoever this idiot is that posted this up, he's never going to get that price. Well, I should never say never. I mean, there might be some rich person who's, craps out money that might actually spend that. But by setting these prices, it allows every other seller to jack up their prices as well. I mean, this is not new. This happens at every sporting event, whether it's a Stanley Cup or the Super Bowl or World Series, whatever. All of them have this problem. But the main difference here is that not all the fans are going to be in Vancouver and Toronto. Some actually want to fly in from other countries to, see their team. I mean, let's say, for example, you're from like Germany and Italy, and you want, well, maybe not Italy. I'm sorry about that. That was a genuine slip up. But let's just say, for example, you were from a country and you wanted to see your team in the World Cup. And you see these ridiculous prices in Canada, United States, and Mexico. Are you still going to book your ticket? I don't know many people that would actually book their flight, their hotel, everything that you need to get over there, and then wait to see if you get a ticket. That's a pretty big gamble if you ask me. So in my non-expert opinion, I think FIFA allowing these ticket prices to get to these numbers is really killing their attendance. Let me know if I'm wrong, or let me know if you agree in the comments.
It makes the neighboring seat look like a bargain at $3,500.
It's ruining the experience for the fans to be in the game and supporting their teams.
The asking price for Canada's group game against Qatar ranges all the way up to $12,000, with several other seats going for $6,000 to $8,000. Just because people advertise tickets for sale for thousands of dollars, that doesn't mean fans are going to be willing or even able to pay that much. And if demand isn't there, prices could still come down before the matches.
As much as I'd love to be in there, nope, I'm not selling a car. I'm not mortgaging the house to get inside a World Cup stadium.
And I don't think many others are going to mortgage the house either, just to watch a game. For me, I'll try to watch the Canada game online if I can find a stream or something like that. But other than that, I'm not going to spend any money on it.
Even if he doesn't get to see his South American soccer heroes in person, Narenia will travel to Vancouver from Kelowna just to soak up the World Cup atmosphere in the city.
I will be hanging out with more Colombian fans, or if that's the case, or Canadian fans if Colombia is not in there. And my plan is to go to the Fan Fest as well.
The province has hinted at plans to regulate the sporting event and concert ticket resale market to prevent price gouging, but there's nothing in place in time to help the average fan before the kickoff of this World Cup.
Now, these two reports are definitely giving us a better picture in Canada. And every time I do one of these videos, something else comes up. We now have confirmation that both Vancouver and Toronto, FIFA has cancelled rooms. We also have confirmation that third-party booking companies in Vancouver are very underwhelmed right now and only have like 20% sold or 20% booked. And now, fans are having problems booking because you gotta freaking mortgage your house. Which leads me into this next report that 25 GTL community viewers sent over to me. And it'll give us a very good perspective on what the status is right now when it comes to bookings, as well as the overall sentiment and demand for the World Cup. Let's take a look.
As the World Cup draws closer, hotel associations and host cities tell Forbes they're resigned to seeing a smaller economic lift than FIFA had promised. The heads of hotel associations in 3 World Cup host cities, New York, Philadelphia, and San Francisco, told Forbes they have not seen a World Cup surge in demand so far. Quote, "The tea leaves are showing us that the demand the World Cup was meant to drive isn't materializing, at least right now," Evan Saunders, Senior Vice President of Travel at the location intelligence firm Azira, told Forbes.
Now keep in mind on how the tone is actually starting to change. Because last year we were hearing that the World Cup is going to be the savior, and that by the beginning of this year, the bookings will be out of the roof. Now that didn't sound right. The bookings will be out the roof. But the tone has changed now, because now tourism officials, especially in the United States, are now saying it's just a slow blip or whatever they want to say, and that they're waiting for the last minute bookings. Well, it's April 11th at the time I'm recording this video. And I think if people haven't booked their hotel yet, or booked their flights, or got their visas ready, I don't think they're going to be going to the United States.
In recent weeks, FIFA canceled tens of thousands of reserved rooms in host cities across the US, Canada, and Mexico. Tourism officials were initially bullish on the World Cup's potential to help reverse a dramatic 6.3% downturn in inbound international tourism since President Trump took office, driven mainly by his tariffs, America First rhetoric, and immigration policies.
Like I said, the United States expected the World Cup to be the savior. To the point where some of these tourism executives were so cocky about it. I mean, I even did a report. Where was it from? I think it was from Colorado, which is not even a host city. And the tourism official in Colorado said that they're banking on the World Cup to fix their tourism problem. So I really wonder what the next narrative will be. Like when we're like a month away or less than a month away, and those quote-unquote last-minute bookings don't come in. My guess, they'll probably blame it on the weather.
But 2 months before the tournament kicks off, it's still unclear if foreign visitors will come in the numbers necessary to drive the promised economic boost. Airline bookings made in January and February for the World Cup host cities in June, when the tournament begins, were down 5% from Europe compared to last year, down 3.6% from Asia, and essentially flat from South America, according to Cirium data.
These clues should not be ignored, because when you have a World Cup event, the numbers for June and July should be up, especially from Europe, because we all know how much they love their football. But the fact that they're down is very telling.
Saunders told Forbes that as of now, there's no evidence hotels will be able to increase average daily rates and length of stays thanks to the World Cup. Alan Fial, Associate Dean at the University of Central Florida's Rosen College of Hospitality Management, told Forbes, quote, "I think it's going to come right up to the wire, I really do." Fial noted that the tournament tends to start slowly, but, quote, "If their national team starts doing well, people literally will jump on a plane and spend whatever money is in their savings accounts to get there."
Says a guy from a university in Florida. I mean, this guy literally thinks that, once a team is starting to win, people will just drop everything and book a ticket, book a hotel, and fly over right away. But there's a few things here that he's not mentioning. The first thing is the issues when you get to the United States, e.g. CBP. Second is when you're in the United States, which is ICE. Third, you got to check what color skin you have. Fourth, you got to get your visa, and I don't think you can get that done in a few days. Not these days. 5, some of these countries got to pay a $15,000 bond. I don't think that's going to happen either. And last but not least, the stupid orange guy president, the guy that this professor at the Florida school or whatever probably voted for, started this stupid war in the Middle East, and now all the flight prices globally have gone up. So do you really think people are going to jump on a plane the next day and go to the United States? This guy at the Florida University needs to get his head out of his ass.
Unfortunately, it's not easy for international travelers to visit the US at the last minute. Fial said, quote, "My hunch is the World Cup will be a huge success as a sporting tournament. On TV, the stadiums will appear full or almost full, but that's not necessarily the same thing as a tourism success." For more on this story, check out the article at the link in the description.
And my hunch? This guy from Florida is an idiot. But he is right on one thing. It is going to be a success. Games are going to be played, and the trophy will be hoisted. Is that what they do in the World Cup? But one thing it's not going to be is a tourism success. The fans in the seats will probably be majority domestic people, or corporate ticket purchasers who are just sitting there because the company bought it for them. Or people who bought the tickets for dirt cheap because the scalpers were stuck with them. But it definitely will not be a tourism success. Because in the future, maybe 5, 10, 20 years down the road, whenever someone says World Cup 2026, the only thing I'm going to think about is this. And it will forever be a black mark on the 2026 FIFA World Cup and FIFA themselves. So I guess we'll have to see what happens over these next couple of months. And my question for the viewers, what do you think will be the next narrative when people don't show up? I'm sticking to them blaming the weather. To close off this video, I would like to thank ADHD Gaming from our Discord server for posting this photo of Mattawa, Ontario. Oh, I get it now. I know what ADHD means. That was a good one. But I really appreciate you posting up this morning photo on our Discord server. Alright, that's all I got for today's video. And the co-host is here, but I don't know why she's so quiet today. Hey, do you want to say something? Hey? No? Do you want a treat? Oh yeah, she's running over here. But she's not saying anything. A treat? Alright, she's not in a talkative mood. So sorry about that, everyone. If you found any value in anything I said today, or you want to hear more from a Canadian and international point of view, without the US media bias, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button below. That way you'll be notified of my future videos. And if you want to see more of my videos, check out the ones that are going to show up on your screen shortly. Thanks everyone. I'll catch you in the next one.